to my channel. I'm Christina, for those of you that are new. Thanks so much for stopping by. For those of you who stop by all the time, hello again, and thank you for coming back to my channel and supporting your girl. So with fall knocking on our door, the weather's getting colder, and I don't know about you, but I found myself kind of peeking through my closet and seeing what's fall like, even though I still don't really go out very much. But I thought it would be fun to do a deep, sultry, smoky look. I will forever tell you that makeup in your 40s doesn't have to be boring. If you're interested in getting something smoky out of the box, maybe out of your comfort zone for fun, why not, right? Keep watching. For the most sincere beauty advice, be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure that you ding that bell so that you're notified every time that I post a video every Tuesday. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna start with my coverfx primer. Always use a primer, always, 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 because it really does help to keep the makeup on your face longer. This primer that I'm using now is coverfx blurring primer. I mentioned in another video, we love anything that blurs. I have very large pores, and this acts as a sort of speckle to cover up my ginormous pores from having oily skin. Next, I'm gonna move into my Bye Bye Under Eye, the full coverage concealer by IT Cosmetics. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this concealer. I feel like if you have it, you either absolutely love it or you absolutely hate it. I love it. But I feel like there is room for a gray area because, I don't know, it's full coverage. So, I mean, it says it right on the container. If you're not looking for full coverage, then why would you get it, right? And I'm not doing too much here because I'm just going as close to the lash line as I can. Only because, and in the inner corner, if you can see where I'm getting right here, only because I like to do my foundation before I actually do like any real concealing. In the effort of kind of like a less is more idea, when you apply your foundation first, you might not need concealer, and now you're saving yourself an extra step, you're saving yourself an extra product. Oh, there's that. So I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, because it's matte and it's velvet. But I'm also going to mix in some of this coverfx Custom Cover Drops. Now these can be added to your moisturizer or your foundation, but you shouldn't be using them alone, like as makeup. That's not what they're for. I'm just going to do 1, 2 drops there. And it just warms up my foundation, because I didn't buy any foundations that were for the summer, especially since nobody went anywhere. But if I'm gonna do my makeup on my face and it's not the right color, I just use my airbrush and just kind of make the color that I need. So I'm gonna take a foundation brush, and I just kind of blended the two together. And now I'm just gonna gently go over my face. Now, what I'm doing is, I'm actually just doing half of my face right now, because I kind of want you to see what kind of ridiculous coverage this foundation and coverfx drops really has. Now, I haven't dipped back onto my palette hand, but I want you to see the difference. Now, it neutralizes. I have a lot of dark spots and red splotches, and because of the tone of my skin, if I happen to get a breakout or a scratch or something on my face, it stays like a really brown color. It doesn't really ever clear up completely. Love the fact that when I can put on certain products, which is kind of how I aim to buy my products, is I really like there to be good coverage without a lot of product. Saves money, saves time, and it just looks better overall because you don't have to keep piling a bunch of stuff on. But look, you can see, I tried to go, I went a little over on my nose, sorry. But if you can see the coverage, you see that? So this kind of just disappears. I don't have flawless skin by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, when you're sitting back and you're looking at yourself, you know, I think that there's a really huge difference from this side of my face to this side of my face. Obviously because I have makeup on, but I just want you to see what kind of coverage these two little bad boys have when they work together. It's all about the collab. All right, so now, so I don't look like a weirdo, I'm gonna do the other side of my face. So, as you can see, I finished that side more or less. Now, as you can see, I did a concealer initially right in here in my inner corner and just along my lash line because I don't normally bring my makeup like right up to there because that's where I'm going to put eyeshadow and things like that. But sometimes I have redness right along the lash line. I don't know if you've noticed that on your own faces. When I put just a little bit, and it was a very thin coverage, especially with the kind of concealer that I used, you just don't need a lot. It helps to kind of meet. It blends away when I put my foundation up. Now, if you can see, I didn't put any concealer down here, right, on either side, but my overall look, no, I'm not highlighted, like contoured to the gods, but you can see that it's brighter under here. So depending on what look you're going for, you don't need to add an extra concealer. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my Temptu, this is the Invisible Difference powder. And then I'm gonna dust over my face. I'm probably gonna get this on my shirt. That's all right, don't mind it. And I'm just setting this. Now, okay, so I'm gonna go in on my brows and comb them through. I'm going to go in with my NYX. This is, it says ESB03. That's the color. I'm almost out. I actually have to go buy some more, but I'm gonna put this on my lids. And now I'm gonna go in with my Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe eyeshadow palette volume 1, and I'm gonna go with La Costa, which is the first one right there. And even though it has a little bit of a shimmer, I'm gonna use that as my all over base. Next, I'm going to go in with Woods. This color here, called Woods. It's from Fairy Tale Storybooks Cosmetics, Little Red Riding Hood palette. And I just really dig the color. And I'm gonna go right on my lids with that. I mean like on my actual, not the whole thing, but like just the part that kind of disappears when I look up at you. Now I'm going just a little bit up on my brow bone, sort of brow bone, I don't know, above my crease. Next, I'm going to go in with the Mercier Noir. You could also use this if you have this little palette. This is the Tuxedo, and it has the white and it has the black. The one black here has a little bit of shimmer in it, so depending on which look you're going for, you know, that's the one you want to go for. I'm going to go in with a little bit of a, it's still a fluffy brush, but it's a little bit flatter, if you can see from the side there. Get out of your way. So I had to grab a tissue because I actually should have done, rookie move, done my eyes first since they're so dark before I actually did my face makeup. So I had a bunch of fallout here. I wiped it away from a tissue and pretty much wiped away all my makeup. So we gotta do that part again. But that's okay, right? I told you I'd be keeping it real, so that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you forget to do things in the right order and you have to backtrack and fix it, right? So now what I'm going to do though, before I backtrack and fix this, I'm just going to finish my eyes. So I'm going to take a blending brush. It's just any fluffy brush that you have. And I'm going to go in little circles. In and out. Kind of like windshield wiper, but with a little bit of a spin. And then I'm going to go back in with some more black. I'm not looking for gray, I'm looking for black. See, more fallout. I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm gonna have to do it over. It's fine. Pretty much got the intensity that I'm going for on top. And now, so that I'm not risking actually having to do my face over twice, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom eyelid. And I'm just gonna use a slanted brush just because it's easier for me to kind of get in near my lash line. And now I'm gonna smudge it with, with the smudger brush, but I'm going to add some, a little bit of brown from my Alamar palette, the one called Cafecito. I'm actually going to add that with a little bit of my Noir from Mercier. And I'm gonna smudge. Alright, and I'm just gonna grab this fluffier brush here that has some of the black that I did on the top, and I'm gonna go right under without adding any more product. Right on the outer corner where some of it kind of blended away. And now, I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush and blend out. All right. Whoa. We're not finished. Settle down. It's only all right. All right, so see that? Really intense. But that's what I'm going for. So now I'm gonna take my Anastasia. It's waterproof. You see that? My light's not really letting you see it, but anyway, it's Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's a waterproof cream color in jet. Because we don't have enough black on the eyes. That's why. So I'm gonna take my fine liner brush, and I gotta use a straight one only because my bent ones are dirty because I have to wash my brushes. And even though you can't hardly see it with the black, I got a wing. Shock, what? Whisper, 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 whisper. She's got a wing, she's got a wing. Yes, I always have a wing. All right, to the other eye. This is always my more difficult eye. I don't know, do you have an eye that you just never comes out quite right? Mine is always on this side. I don't know why, but it's always just so much more difficult. Go figure, this is my more difficult eye and I like this side better than this side. Always something, right? All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to fix this. Since you already seen it once, I'm going to do that off camera. I will be right back. So I went ahead and started contouring my face before I pressed record on the camera. So I'm sorry about that. But what I used was the Tarte Shape Tape. And I feel like it's a little bit, you know, light for me, but I guess for what I'm using it for, it's not really a big deal. But because I did it off camera, I'm just gonna show you, I'm gonna add more so you can see what it looked like. Those of you in my age bracket might wanna know this little tip. I have these laugh lines around my mouth and I always make sure that I try to put a really light concealer on it. Not too light so that it looks like, you know, white out, but enough so that it brightens it. And I literally just go one there, and one there, and that might even be too much. One there and one there. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. See? So I don't really do too much else. Then I take and I blend it and I just bounce it. And while I'm bouncing, you know, the sponge is doing its job of smushing it into my fine lines. If you get, if you're not a person who wears like full coverage foundations or anything like that, but you still do want to be able to do something about certain little imperfections that you are not happy with, you can use a foundation that's not a foundation. I guess you could use a foundation that's just a little bit lighter than your skin, just a little bit, almost unnoticeable, or a concealer that's the same same kind of level, lighter than your skin. And you can in fact do the same thing that I just did and just kind of blend it in, and because it's only the one shade, it will look almost like a natural highlight. And you know, when you add darkness, when I put darkness into the hollows of my cheek, it's to create a more cut out, chiseled look, and it makes things recede. When you put lighter things on your face, it brings them out. So if I have these deep creases on my laugh lines, which aren't that deep yet, but they're getting there, when I add a lighter color there, it brings them out so it doesn't look so indented. So now I'm going to go in with the lightest color bronzer that I have. Oh, you probably want to see what that is, right? It is my Ace Beauty or Beauté, and it doesn't tell me what color it is, but anyway, it's the lightest color that they have right there. Can you see that? And I'm using it almost like a blush, right? But it's because I'm bronzing up my skin. I'm not really using it like a contour because it's a bronzer. And I know there's an unpopular opinion. You can't use bronzer to contour. And while that's true, I feel like if that's the only thing you have in your house and you really, really want to start cutting, then, you know, who cares what they say, right? I mean, I'm a makeup artist and I use a contour for the contour and a bronzer for the bronzer. But because we are just playing makeup here with what we have, you can use what you have. And, you know, I mean, if we're going to keep worrying about what other people say, how much stuff are you going to hold yourself back from, right? See, I'm just warming it up here because I told you this concealer is too light for my skin, and even though I only did dots, a little goes a long way with this stuff, and it just kind of brightened up like the whole area, which is not the look I was going for. As you can see, I'm not really being too strategic as to like how I hold the brush, even though it's a flat one, because I'm just kind of using it like, you know, like I'm frosting a cake. I'm just putting it on. Now I'm going to go in with my bronzer brush. This is really cute, right? This is by Alamar too. Can you see that? I love them. If you have not tried Alamar, get yourself going, because you know what? They're at Target now. I know, not sponsored, but they're at Target now, and that's kind of a big deal. So I'm going in the same shade. And because this picks up a little bit more, I'm just patting it on. Ta-da! Now I'm going to go against the grain again, and I'm going to go back to my Storybook Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to go into two colors, Journey and Woods. So these bottom two colors, they're going to be my blush. Yeah, they are. Multitasking products. I'm all about it. They don't say you could use it as a blush, but I'm gonna. One thing I always say is makeup is supposed to be fun. And if you put too many rules on yourself over what you can do and what you can't do, you're stifling your creative mind. I am not a stifler of creative minds. I say do what you want, when you want, and how you want, because makeup is art. Cool. Now I'm going to go back in with my powder brush, but I'm not going to add any additional powder because I'm just going to, well, clearly I didn't need to. I'm not going to add any additional powder to this because it's already got enough on there, and I'm just blending this out, okay? Now I'm going to put my mascara on and my lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm gonna go in with my little fan brush there, and I'm not a big fan of highlight because I'm naturally oily, so I'm gonna highlight anyway in a couple of hours. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my Laura Mercier highlight, and it is shade 01, and I'm just gonna tap it on there, get rid of some of the excess, go a little bit on my cheekbone because I went through all the trouble of bronzing it up that I kind of want to make it stand out a little bit. I'm gonna go again with the other side too. And this brush picks up very little color, which is actually perfect for what I'm trying to do. I'm also gonna take this highlight and I'm gonna go just under my brow bone. Kind of at an angle though, actually, because my eyebrows aren't square. They're also not plucked, I don't know if you noticed, but c'est la vie, right? All right, that's all I wanted. Now I'm gonna go in with my lips, right? Because I don't look like I have any right now with all this makeup on. This one is, I've used, actually I use this a lot. It's one of my favorites. It's the Rimmel London, and it is Lasting Finish, and it's color 049 Natural. See, needs to be sharpened, right? I'm not gonna right now though. Lined, and now lips. And for my lips, I'm using the Too Faced Lip Injection Glossy in Milkshake, cause my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And there's that. And here you have it. Your dark, smoky, intense shadow. You see, even over 40, you can have fun with makeup, right? And now you're ready to go sit in your living room. Who's going to hang out at the bar, right? Nobody. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you like this look, or if you have a look similar that you like to use with other deep smoky colors, let me know in the comments below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do it now. Help a sister out. And make sure that you ding that bell so that you're notified every time I post a video. All of the products I use will be listed in the description box below. It's not sponsored, but they're just products that I use and love. Thanks so much for supporting. I'll see you next week. Take it easy.